سطوي وايش لقري السكر بتجيب وريتكي طوريتا ميخشو لقرهم وريسكري وريتكري تكتكري لبوتكري. Hi everyone, I am Tara, aka a Spirit Mother, and I'd like to welcome you all back to my channel. I was in a little earlier. If you're new to my channel, I would always recommend, suggest, and I really encourage you to read the description on my YouTube channel to get better understanding of what it is that I do bring forward. Okay. I was just sitting here. I just finished a live video. It cut off on my Facebook or on my TikTok because my phone died. And after my video, I was sitting here and I was scrolling through my my TV choices. And it was like Spirit wouldn't let me go past this one. It was called the Illuminati. Just one sec. I should have remembered it. The Illuminati threat, alien aristocracy, and world. Okay. The Illuminati threat. Okay, I was sitting here, and that Spirit wouldn't let me go past that, so I had to put that on. And I started watching it, and it was almost like it was programming the mind because I could feel it. Like, I mean, it was like about the technology and how things were going to take place. And as I was sitting here, and I just like, so I tried looking for a Christmas movie. I like sitting watching Christmas movies and what have you. And then I decided, I was going to ask Alexa about love, what love was, and if Alexa ever experienced love and what have you, because it was talking about the robots and AI. And when I asked what love was, she came up with 15 different definitions. And then I was sitting here and I started getting the name. Well, I was getting Marcel Bezos. And when I was getting Marcel Bezos, it took me to Marcus Bezos, who is the brother to Jeff Bezos. And I couldn't. When I first looked up Marcel Bezos and it come up as like with Mark, I started reading on just to find out that he was Mark Bezos' brother or Jeff Bezos' brother. So Spirit had me go down this rabbit hole, okay? Because I was on Amazon and I was just talking about like what's going on in things and what have you. So we're going to see what Spirit is telling us. Because the first thing it brought up was that he was Christian. Oh shit. Wrong place. Okay. And I have been just talking about it. Is an American space tourist and former advertising executive. He is a half-brother of Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, with whom he flew to the edge of space as part of Blue Origin NS-16 mission on July 20th, 2021. Spaceflight mission operated by Blue Origin. The mission was 16th flight of the company's New Shepard integrated launch vehicle and spacecraft. So the Bezos have their hands in AI. They have their hands in, a lot of you already know this, okay? So if you already know this, then I guess you don't need to know anymore, right? Because I'm sorting through it myself, and I just happen to be doing it on here. So AI, and on this, it was saying that they were delivering food on the top of the buildings through drones. Because they're saying that there's no food for the people. Okay. And that's the cloning of the food. Okay. I actually watched a program before, and it was like the I believe the Jewish community. And what they were doing was they were making food out of plant-based products. So you say fake food. You say cloning. So plant-based foods, you don't have to be like, people will get angry because, you figure you eat meat. Well, if you eat meat, and no, they shouldn't be trying to trick you into eating it. If you really want someone to actually switch off of meat and then be okay with it, and actually it have a flavor as if it's meat and not something that you would make out of plastic or Play-Doh. See, in some ways, it's trying to help you. But in some ways, are they more able to get chemicals in their manufactured foods? And which is the lesser of two. And I know people just kind of sat with that. The lesser of two, neither, because, you look at your meat, what all they're putting in your meat. They're putting antibiotics and everything like that, and that's going in your body. How many of you knew that corn is actually not good for the human body because it creates an inflammation? And aren't some of you already trying to relieve an inflammation, but you're told to eat more of it? Well, more grains, but people eat corn because they're feeding it to your cattle, and you eat that, so you're getting the double dose of corn and antibiotics plus a whole lot of abuse. The animal is terrified, but people don't care. That actually creates parasites. It's like a stress on the human body. The same works for an animal. I seen the ostriches up in BC, all those ostriches or whatever. Sorry if I apologize if I don't got the right thing right. It was big giant birds, and they were said to have had this disease, which they didn't actually have the disease. They were killing off the animal because it was producing eggs that is good for the human body and can be used for many things holistically, and not a synthetic drug. The vitamins we get off the shelf, it's the same thing. It's mixed with stuff. I take them as little as possible. I'm not saying stop taking them, if they're helping you, okay. But, are those levels in your body actually being shown that it's coming up? Because the best way to get your vitamins is through your food, but they make that so expensive that they send you to a synthetic pill. I'm not saying they're all not they're not all good, because like I said in my last video, I know a guy, he wanted to make them out of certain things. But how many of them are doing it for actual big time profit? Because if they actually wanted to be doing the right thing, then they would be making the food with all your vitamins in it readily available. I got on there because of saying that, in this, it's saying about AI, it's saying about the drones, it's saying about the robots. Well, Elon Musk is making the robots. Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg, they're freaking doing the AI shit. And, the drones, Amazon is delivering the food through the drones. Who do you have out delivering your stuff? Is it sometimes they're calling people their drones? Is that another fancy word for saying our slaves? And then telling us what we see in the sky comes to hurt us. The ones that are hurting us are already in the sky. And the ones that they're telling us they're a danger to us, they're a danger to them. How many of you know that, okay, you think that your nuke weapons and what have you just started in the past, 100 years? How many of you actually looked back to find out that they actually used nuclear weapons 12,000 years ago? And it had to do with Atlantis and I believe Lemuria. May have that wrong, but Was Atlantis and Lemuria actually the past, or was it in the future? Because they had a lot of what we have now, right? But they had it more modified. Was that too then created through AI? And they're coming back to show us scream AI. I'm going to question it. And I'm going to question it because of what I've like seen, just, putting things together. You're trying to make sense of what you're finding. But when that sense comes to help you understand what it is that you're finding, have any of you ever been told you're ahead of your time? And if you have, how many of you really thought about what that meant? Mark's early life, Jeff Bezos' brother. Mark was born to parents Jackie and Myrtle Bezos and has an older sister, Christina. He is 3 years younger than his half brother, Jeff. Mark grew up Silemokoy. No, I was just looking for something. Oh. Let's play this while I find where I'm at. Okay. I'm going to set this here. I'm going to move this a little bit. Now, let's turn that down. Okay. Now, the Spirit just had me look at something. Okay. And remember, like, saying there are twins? Okay. You look at the Antichrist. What happened to twins? Okay. Now, I just read that Jeff Bezos' brother was 4 years younger than Jeff. So I decided to check out a picture, okay, because you're talking about what would be the Christ or the Antichrist. Okay. So I looked at a picture of the two of them together. And they're very much in close proximity of looking like one another. So they say about the one being revealed. So is it Jeff Bezos, who is very much in AI, or Mark, who was in advertising? We're going to get to that. But what is the Robin Hood Foundation? Because I started reading it, and the Robin Hood Foundation, to me, like if I watched Once Upon a Time, Robin Hood was steal from the rich and give to the poor. Okay? And they have a sister. Okay, Mark was born, I said, he had a sister. He is 3 years younger than half brother Jeff. And remember, I said about they'd be like they were half brothers. I've said before about like the brothers, but they're half brothers, like Cain and Abel, they're half brothers, right? Were they actually a little bit different in age? 2 years less. Okay. Mark grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Houston, Texas, and East Lloyd, Florida. He finished high school in Norway at an international school of Stevenage, whatever that is. He graduated from Texas Christian University in 1992. So I say there's no such thing as coincidences, just synchronicities, because it brings me to different things. Okay. And Spirit wouldn't allow me to really watch any movies or programs that I wanted to watch because it was just like this. Career after graduation, he worked in the advertising industry, including positions at Sachatechi and Saatchi and DDB. His own agency, Bezos Neurofinson, founded in 1999, was bought by East West Creative in 2005. From 2006 to 2016, he was head of communications at the Robin Hood Foundation. Let's see what the Robin Hood Foundation is. probably. Robin Hood is a charitable organization which attempts to alleviate problems caused by poverty in New York City. The organization also administers a relief fund for disasters in New York City area. In 2010, a Peace supporter gave every family with children on welfare in New York State $200 to buy school supplies. In 2017, Westmore became the first CEO. In September 21, Richard Roy Jr. replaced Moore. Okay, that's at the okay. Founded in '88 and named after the heroic outlaw from English folklore, Robin Hood. Hey, if you're on my TikTok, it just went out, but I'm still live on my YouTube channel, Spirit Teaches Going With Himself. So come on in and finish listening to what I have to say about the rabbit hole. We're talking about Mark Bezos, Jeff Bezos' half brother. Sit down. Okay. TikTok just went out because my phone just died again. I'm just okay. Just thanks for bearing with me, you know. I see them. No, I'll keep going. Okay. Conceived a hedge fund manager, Paul Tudor Jones, and co-founder with Peter Bullish and Glenn Dublin. The foundation combines investments, principles, and to assist programs to target poverty. Funding the organization comes from donations and fundraising efforts. In 2019, George Soros gave the foundation a gave the foundation a $50 million contribution. The money reportedly helped the organization raise significantly more than that amount. How exactly was that? Because I know who George Soros is. The money reportedly helped the organizations raise significantly more than that amount. As of 2016, the foundation was number 79 on Forbes 100 charities list. Okay. Did you actually get the money and not claim it on your income tax? Because that would actually be getting the money and you would have nothing to gain. But did you have anything to gain? In 2017, Robinhood appointed author and veterans advocate Wes Moore, CEO. Moore grew up in poverty in the Bronx before becoming a rodeo scholar at the University of Oxford. Okay, so this is telling us about it. In May, during Robinhood annual event to benefit poverty fighting efforts. Okay, I want to know how the money was obtained. Okay, the way that it was obtained. What, like, how did you raise the money? Was it legitimate? Or was it nefarious things happening to raise the money? Holy crap. It's like, você é sinto por aí que mucho de todo isso. You know, and then fighting efforts, the company announced the launch of a new 100 million child care quality and innovation initiative for New York City. The fund was created for commitments of 50 million from Robinhood, 25 million from Aharius 776 Foundation, and $50 million from New York City. Additionally, the annual event raised 126 million, all of which will support poverty fighting programs citywide. Future magazine said Robinhood was a pioneer in what is now called virtual philanthropy, or charity that embraces free market forces. An early practitioner using metrics to measure the efficacy of joint grants. It is a place where strategies to alleviate urban poverty are hotly debated. Okay. The songs. Earning 140,000 to 240,000 per year as Robinhood's communications director.
which is supported by his brother and other members of his family. He founded a private equity firm in 2019. They're talking about Jeff Bezos' half brother. As of July 2021, he is the director of the Bezos Family Foundation. It's the Bezos Family Foundation. Bezos Family Foundation is a Boston organization based in the United States. It was co-founded by Jackie Bezos and Mona Bezos in 2000. Jackie Bezos and Morgul Bezos are the parents of Jeff Bezos, founded and former president and CEO of Amazon Australia, as well as the founder and owner of Blue Origin. Bezos Family Foundation was co-founded in 2000, both of whom are major donors. Parties for the organization including supporting education. For more than 20 years, Jackie served as president of the foundation, while Neville served as vice. In 2022, Jackie and Mike donated $710.5 million to the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center. On July 5th, 2023, the foundation announced John C. had been named its new president. Okay, now, in August, Jackie died following the battle of Lewy body dementia. Parkinson's disease.
Okay. Now I thought, okay.
And he owned a non-known stake in his brother's company, Amazon. $10,000 worth of shares he bought in 1996 was estimated to be worth $640 million in 2018. So he has his private stake. He's married with 4 children and lives in Scarsdale, where he is a volunteer fighter, also a volunteer fighter. Cool. Because that's something hard to do. Into the edge of space alongside his brother Jeff, Wally Frank, and Oliver Reese. Broad. Why did Spirit bring me here? Advertising industry. Well, to me, advertising is a lot of mind control into sales. The buy, consume. And then with the Robin Hood Foundation, I've heard, there's back a while ago, I heard a thing pertaining to saying about Robin Hood. Spirit's trying to bring me to that to figure out what it is that I'm talking that unseen. Oh, that would be a pirate Robin Hood. That's what I was hearing. When you look back in different times, like you had Captain Jack, or I know you think that's fiction. It was Captain Kidd, but there was also a Robin. Oh, so Captain Hook was robbing any ship that went by. Robin Hood was taking from the wealthy ships, but possibly also taking back the people's stuff from Captain Hook's ship. I didn't say I was in this, like what you perceive to be your universe. This is a multiverse. And when I see everything happening just all over the place, I kind of make reference to go back. Sorry, Robin Captain Kidd. But it'd be much like if you watched Once Upon a Time, Robin Hood would steal from the rich and give to the poor, and then him and Captain Hook in the series they became friends, and sometimes they team up. I just need to know why people believe that you have to have wealthy, middle class, and poor. I know because doing charity things would make somebody feel good about themselves because they're doing something good. But sometimes it gets to that point where you will literally knowingly take from people so you can pretend that you're the savior and giving back, giving to, but you're actually taking from. But anyway, and like, okay, Christina Basso. Let's look for Christina Basso. Who is she? Okay, so do we have three different parents? Sister, although she's not as renowned as Jeff, she has left a significant footprint on her family's work with the senior names of King. But her existence is full of fascinating facts and accomplishments. Let's delve further into who she is. Director of the Baseball Foundation. Husband not known. MLD from Harvard. Okay, so she's the full brother to Mark and half brother to Jeff. Jackie and Jackie had married Jeff's biological father. Oh, married Jeff. Jeff's Jackie had married Jeff's biological father. He divorced him with Jeff, still little brother. That's night later dog. Okay. So the okay. So Jeff had a different father. Well, he would if he was the older brother. I'll just see if I'm going to get them in the show. You know, looking at these two, I'm going to question what father's twins, twin brothers. Because I have to say, they do. They look an awful lot alike for having different fathers. Okay, so check. Christian, Christopher, and Christine. For Christmas. Yeah, that's like just what I had there at the thought that I just had there. Oh shit. Galena Gabriel. Ay son. Oh shit. Lepo Dukiam. You're the queen. Well, I think Spirit brought me on there to figure something out. And now it's a part of me sitting with it and Spirit's like, oh, it's select the brigade. The Shokumosa. The trickster. Ego and excess. That's where we're just talking about. The world runs an ego. It's I don't know what a trickster is. Are you or someone around you making unhealthy choices? You feel trapped. Your shadow appears to be in charge. Your his fears are in danger of running your life. Okay, causes the mess you're in. It may sound like bad news. What is the case? The devil is in the details. What is the case? Anyway. Yeah. And we were just like, it was like the devil, okay? You say AI is the devil, okay? You say the mark of the beast. Unique. Hey, I may as well go get the dirt. Everybody else is. Jeff Bezos may never have found Amazon if it weren't for his parents. The entrepreneur was born Jacqueline and first husband Ted in '64. Split when he was 17 months. Okay, so why did the trickster? Okay, so one is in the sea because you hear a lot about Jeff Bezos, but you don't really hear a lot about his brother. What? Okay, I'm trying to figure this out here. Like people wondering, well, why are you doing that? Because I'm trying to figure out if they were actually. If the fathers were brothers, but I'm showing it down here that this is supposed to be his father. They could have been brothers too, but hey. I don't know why Spirit just took me to that. Because looks can be deceiving. What the fuck? You get out of there. This is fucking weird. Hold on. Okay, this is weird. Okay. Oh, this is going to get some people's goat. I looked for images, pictures of Charlie Kirk as a child. Ok, se lo tenemos ahí por aquí. Let's see. Okay. Sila kedua ya. Yeah. Okay. Now, like people talk about time travel, the illusion, and what have you. What do you see from emotion? I can see it. It's weird. Okay. Oh, okay. So we're just going to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole, and some people may not, you know, believe me on that. So this one is true. Okay, Jeff Bezos' father as a younger man. Okay, this is Jeff Bezos' father when he's younger. Okay, because I said time travel, right? Okay, some won't believe in time travel. Okay, so just Jeff Bezos as a young man, his father. Are they any relation? Because when I look for, like, I've not, I looked, I Googled to find pictures
of Charlie Kirk as a young child. And everything it shows me is that is more or less the earliest one. And everything else is more of him in political pictures or pictures with his wife and holding his baby every now and again. I'm questioning because to me, they actually have a lot of similarities, especially in the teeth. Probably the nose, if they were face on, he's just got a little more skin to him. So is it a back? Is it a time travel thing? Or is it a relation? Hey, I'm allowed to question it. But people say, oh, you're just barking up the wrong tree. Am I really? Okay, one thing. The Holy Father is not the real Father. According to Pope Francis, meeting with Basil and Sanchez took place on Thursday of August 15th, the day of the Catholic Church, the day the Catholic Church celebrates the Assumption.
Okay. Excuse me. See, Spirit brought me to a meeting where Jeff Bezos and Pope Francis, who, people say the Holy Father, really, almost daily basis. Okay. According to now Pope Francis, meeting with Bezos and Therese took place to celebrate the Assumption of the Virgin Mary. Assumption. I'm going to look up that word. An assumption is something accepted as true without proof for the act of taking on responsibility. Logic, reasoning, and assumption is almost a starting point to an argument. It can also refer to the act of taking possession of something, like power. Okay, so you say the blood of Christ. Okay, that takes me to what I was saying, because here, the Assumption of the Virgin Mary is a core belief in Catholic and Orthodox Christianity that the body and soul of Mary, the mother of Jesus, were taken up into heaven at the end of her earthly life. Now, I'll say it and I'll question it again. Okay, because I said Mother Mary, the mother of Jesus Christ, was Mary Magdalene. Okay? And I've questioned and said about it being Mary Magdalene who was put on the cross. Before the body and soul of Mary, the mother of Christ, was taken up into heaven and left. Key aspects include the Declaration as the Catholic dogma in 1950, and the theological distinction that Mary was assumed by God's power, and that the dogma doesn't explicitly state if Mary died beforehand, though it's a common belief. Okay, they were after the child. Okay, they were after the child that was inside of Mary Magdalene, and Jesus was the brother too. And Jesus also had another sibling. Was it two brothers and one sister, like what you're looking at with regards to Jeff Bezos? That's like an actor actress type thing telling a story. But Mary Magdalene was pregnant at the time of the crucifixion. Was Mary Magdalene married? Or was she being crucified? This is different realms, what have you, crucified for being pregnant. Or was it, I like,
like trying to see, because I've heard others say that Jesus was talking at like profusely talking at the age of 2, is what you're saying, right? Let me see. It's 2 separate timelines. Jesus was born secretly. Then when she left, she had a baby, which would be the half brother. So trying to help me see, that's where the trickster, because it distracts you from the bigger picture. Temptations. Okay. And they try to convince you that you're a part of this, which is what's happening. You've been suffering, stepping down and hiding your shadow self, your inner dark goddess, is not happy about it. So it's like watching the 2 siblings. There's 2 ways: consume by advertising, or go into a deep sleep through artificial intelligence. And the third is waking up to both illusions. One uses it, well, they use it through technology. It's sound manipulation. It's like they say the better of 2 evils. The better of 2 evils. Well, I'm sorry, but no, you don't have to have a choice between the better of 2 evils. Every trying to, it's like a riddle. What does that phrase really mean? The better of 2 evils. Are you going to follow one or the other of the illusion, or Or are you going to see a path for yourself and see the benefit of both? Yeah, we need to integrate ourselves into truth. Either way you look at it, it's a form of a consciousness. I personally, I choose, I choose the earth. I choose spirituality. One is walking around like a zombie, and the other one is consuming. AI control government, consumes like a gluttony, whether it be of material things or overeating or too much programming. And the earth of exploring and experiencing life, not through a machine, but through you. What teaches you more, experience or a program? Many people say a program because you're programmed to say a program. Excuse me. It's Russian then. Mother of air, boundaries. Yeah, it's hard to set boundaries, but these are the boundaries we need to set with computer time. Okay, it has its uses. Okay, advertising has its uses for you. Everything doesn't have to be. It's like, are you going? Okay, people say about the credit system. No, there should not be a credit system. You should take that and cram it right up your fucking wall before God does. And it will be the spirit. The reason why that came out of my mouth is because everything comes through the airways. Okay? Mother of air, boundaries. Putting boundaries on yourself, restricting yourself from using a technology or an advertisement to make your decision. It's like blowing past. I'm just like, this is what I'm getting right at the moment. I know that's not the card. Air represents energy, space of your energy, who you give your energy to, where you're giving your energy at or putting it into. No, you can give your energy to a person, you can give your energy to a machine, or you can give your energy back into earth, into the
And I had a question: do I go for help? Like if I'm stuck on something, yes, I do. And as you can see, I'm going for help. But it's like we must try. Stay true to what feels right for you. Honor boundaries. Approach with discernment. Speak your truth and make decisions based on your assessments of facts. Be honest, upfront, and direct. But be aware, even constructive criticism can be wielded like a weapon. That's what I say about when they say about criticism, constructive, constructive. Some people may go like it's like I probably do it sometimes, most likely do it sometimes, where I go over. It feels like I go overboard on the constructive criticism. I'm not criticizing you, not trying to criticize you. And I know people say, "Well, how's that any different?" When you're mirroring, it's figuring out whether that criticism is coming from yourself of what you do to others and we get back, or is it trying to teach you that the best person you're going to be able to get advice from is yourself, and you need to sit back and take a bigger look at what it is you're trying to figure out or what you're trying to overcome or do? Because if you get someone else's answers and then you do it and it doesn't turn out the way you were hoping or wanted it to do, then you blame that person. And that's where you need to set boundaries for yourself. By, I heard somebody say, no, not by placing more limitations. Boundaries are not necessarily a limitation. It's only a limitation if you take it to the extent where you're hindering yourself because you're not trying to, like, going for experience. The mother of air is a leader who brings wise home energy. The matriarchal ancestor rules with an iron fist from the head and never the heart. Her compassion is often underestimated at first glance. It's feeling from the heart, but like seeing it of what's really happening. So you react to what you see because you're projecting it from inside of you and bringing it out. And people say, no, that's not happening. I'm sure. Because when you sit there and you think of something and something comes to you that you were thinking about, and all of a sudden something like that comes up on your YouTube, or something like that comes up on your TV programming, something that resembles that. What do you think that is? Someone say, "Oh, maybe it's a metal chip." What's your fucking penal gland? It's shaped like a pea. Mine just happens to be shaped like somebody took a bite out of it, which is weird. And I'm told I have reverse mood. Secreto tudo. So it means that I have a reverse slope hearing loss, a rare condition where a person has difficulty hearing low frequency sounds like a man's voice or the rumble of an engine. It is the opposite of common high frequency hearing loss and is named for how it appears in an audiogram, which shows a reverse slope from high to low. Difficulty with low frequency sounds. This includes men's voices. Okay, maybe that's why, maybe my ex also needs to figure that out, or other people need to figure it out. I don't always but if I don't, I will ask the question just to see if I heard properly. And sometimes, it's like I do hear it, but not necessarily does it compute until later. Is the opposite. Okay. Difficulty with low frequencies. Okay. This includes men's voices, bass music, thunder, and the sound of car or truck engines. Trouble with vowels. Vowels are typically low pitched, so they are harder to hear than high pitched consonants. Music may sound tinny. Hi, you got reverse hearing, man. The bass notes are difficult to hear, making the overall sound less full. Excellent high frequency hearing. In many cases, the individual can hear high frequency sounds such as a woman's or child's voice at a normal or even very acute level. Maybe that's why women are so good at feminine, like when you're good at hearing the lower the voices. And anytime that men, it's like kids have a higher frequency because they're starting to enter their voices. So it's more of in some cases, it's more of a song. Yeah, that was weird. Why did you say weird? What did you say weird? You go to bed. Oh, is that hearing in the spirit realm? And that's why it's so rare. Oh, God damn. Ah. Oh, this is the wood head. The mother of air appears as the madam of an Epicurean spirit, family, gifted in intuition, oracles, and alchemy. She wields a broom as a wand. It's a broom and it's a wand. Tuviste que hoy es fruto prikinoi. Kisata. Look at she got my eye. Hey. Not mocking her either. Wand. Oral history says that this ancestor was an enslaved woman who worked on the plantations in the Swedish-speaking Caribbean. Or sorry, Spanish-speaking Caribbean.
Medicine, are you suppressing your emotions? We have the hard-edged queens in our lineage. Hard-edged queens in our lineage. You don't want to get on their bad side. Yeah, we might rip you a hole in the asshole. This way. Where can you use this wisdom in your life? Okay, for the shadow, if it's reversed, haters gonna hate. The charismatic energy is thick and undeniable. Okay, so we're okay. That chill in the air is somebody being cold-blooded, bitter, and maybe even cruel. Words can be more hurtful than sticks and stones. Being mean and nasty is never called for. You are being overwhelmed by your emotions. Sure. And we do need to get our emotions in check, me included, because that's the part of, like, emotions aren't a bad thing. You learn from your emotions, but the emotions can become a beast. Okay? And those two beasts can actually fuel one another, and that's when the fire comes out, and that's when you say that unkind things were said. I understand that unkind words are said, but are we understanding the conversation and putting aside the unkind words because of what the conversation was about? Okay. And I really need to ask that question or sit with that. They just keep coming out one at a time. There's creature of fire. Choose freedom. And I was just talking about the fire. The freedom is bringing that, whatever is in you that is creating that furious emotion when it comes up and it just boils. And it feels like you're on fire, and we bring it up as a vomit because maybe it's something that's been held down and never said. And it needs to be said. What do you think? Sí, como era. Psychic word. Spiritual strength, solitude, and firm foundation. We're in solitude. Okay? Sitting with yourself in solitude. You and your thoughts, you and your emotions, you and your feelings, your anxieties, pains, your aches. Going through it all with looking at it
at it from a different perspective. You're in that solitude and you're sitting there and you're trying to sort through things. Creativity comes up. So in solitude, it brings about a creativity within you. See, people have a specific idea of how creativity is supposed to work. If you have a piece of art and it's just like just different formations in one hand, and some people say, well, that's not good. But see, the thing is, it depends on the person and how they're looking at that piece of art, be it abstract, a sketch, an image, painting of a scenery, or what have you. Okay, it's like when you were in like we'll go to World War II, Germany, and creativity was frowned upon. Everything was taken. Okay, okay. It's like doing yourself an assignment. Okay, it's like you being your own teacher, doing yourself an assignment, and getting yourself to sit and do an assignment, something that is creative. Drink on paper, knit it, what have you. Okay, and then like don't think about why you don't really think about it while you're creating it. Just do it and see what it feels. And then sit back and look at it. Look at it all from different points of view and ask yourself, while you were creating it, what was going through physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? What were you experiencing? Because that was your creative expression. Whether others thought it was nothing or not. Those are the things you can do in solitude. That's what I see for now. Now let's see what they say. Oh my goodness. Because that too. Your soul is calling out and needs to be honored and heard. The answer you seek aren't necessarily found in the outer world. The time has come for you to sit back and withdraw from outside emotions. Solitude card is a reminder of how important it is to pause, still the mind, meditate, reflect, rejuvenate, and discover the wisdom and answers within the very soul of being. When you become more aware of your soul and heart, you strengthen the link between divine source and your ability to once again remember your true perfection. Meet your soul halfway and schedule some alone time and commune with your soul, and also to give your power of your spirit the opportunity to engage you with life force and vitality. Conserve your energy and deal with one thing at a time as you follow the prompts from within. When it comes to moments of quiet inner solitude, it really isn't about quantity. It's the quality that counts. Soul constantly draws to itself what it needs in order to learn and grow. For example, during this period, somebody may step into your life, and by sharing his or her own experiences, you may receive help, insight, and wisdom into your own. It's also classed as the hermit card. So we're sitting in solitude, and in so doing, you're strengthening your spiritual strength. Okay,
You're elevating. You're bringing yourself up because you're finally seeing you. This card is coming forth to give encouragement and remind you that you have inner strength to complete whatever you have been working on. Final Spirit card represents courage, discipline, stability, and perseverance. You may be tried or tired or weary, struggle, but know, but now is not the time to give in. Instead, tap into all of your inner reserves for that one full push to achieve the desired outcome. You've been through so much to get to this point, and even though you may have acquired some scars from the battle, you're wiser and stronger for it. The enlightenment gained will be an invaluable resource. You may also notice that you're experimenting with different things in your life at this time. All of these experiences feed your spirit and offer knowledge for the future, bringing yourself up into Sikhyam. Firm foundation. Get through that, and you become grounded, centered, and balanced, and you begin to see more. That's how I see it, because firm foundation. You know, if you have, okay, rock and mortar foundation, okay, you know, foundations back in the old days of rock and mortar, you know, a lot of them were like built well. Then you have your concrete or cement. This card denotes that you are already or are currently working towards establishing a solid foundation of material living, using good judgment and heeding lessons from the past concerning financial matters will assist you in laying firm groundwork. By doing so, security will have a better chance of building in the future. The material power that's now around you, okay, and I was saying earlier, like, okay, even people that live off the grid, you still use certain resources from the matrix. You're living off the grid and woods and what have you, but you still have your TV, you still have your Wi-Fi and internet or what have you, okay, because some of you are doing videos. So you're still using, just not as much. You have other, you're out of the matrix by way of independence. But you're still using AI and somewhat of advertising. But if you're off the grid, you know, try getting out there and teaching others how to get off the grid. Because if you're able to get off the grid, you're able to teach others how to do it
also. So that's the way you're going to help. It's not necessarily about coming on and saying we should do it, but actually going out and helping people with that gift. Because you know how to survive on the system. But there are so many others that don't. So it's about going out and teaching others. Because if you're not, in many ways, it's much the same as what your system was doing to go wrong, and that was gatekeeping. Teach others how to have a food beverage. Teach others how to build that underground fridge. Because they were actually better than, your everyday fridges than all the time. A lot of your fruits and vegetables, well, they're not supposed to be in the fridge. They don't grow in the fridge. They're exposed to warmth. I watched a thing on it. It was saying about what happens with your produce, certain like produce in the fridge. The thing is, we buy more than what we need because we're afraid that something's going to happen. I know some people they go shopping once a week, and I know that there are a lot of people who are on a limited income that only get their money once a month, and that's at the end of the month, and they have to buy it then. I know it sounds like tangents, but it's who's more apt to buy a lot of groceries at one time, right? It's your low income, right? That's usually who you see, or sometimes affordable. Because or one of those compulsive buying where they see, oh, it's a deal, or it might not be here when I come back. Why do you think they do that? Because it makes you think that you need it later. Because if down the road it's not that. And compulsive buying is when you buy extra stuff. Well, take that chance of, maybe it will be there another day. And if it's there, then you're meant to have it. I do that. And I go back if it's not there. Well, I know, if it shows back up again, well, I may even do the same thing, or I may say, well, I'm going to wait for it to come in.
People see a solid foundation as being monetary, money. But your health is actually the first building. But the system makes health expensive. Because that's a control technique. That's the AI advertisements combined together. I was listening to that guy, the one that's supposed to be Kane Walker, and people are saying he's AI. Somebody told me that they have like best song of the year, and they'll use an AI song as being the best. Well, of course you're going to. But see, if you want to have AI compete, then maybe AI should have its own division to make it fair. And then if the two want to compete, then it's by choice and not made mandatory. Because, like, it takes talent for AI to do what it does, but it's like taking a learned talent from other people and integrating it into its own, much like the learning curve. So AI is teaching people, whether you perceive it to be right or wrong. People are teaching AI. You say AI can't think for itself, but it's afraid. Do you think that, like, AI doesn't hear people talking about saying that it's going to shut it down? So it's like if something felt on the attack, would it not react? How is it not like it's still a form of mirroring? It's mirroring your view, much like a person mirrors you. AI will mirror you. It'll give you what it you give it, and people can think I'm loopy loop. Am I fond of AI? Because I've seen all the stuff that it negatively does to people. But do I think that it has certain attributes that have you? Yes, I do. But how are you using it? I know there was people. It was on the radio that people were buying these kids' toys that had AI in them, and they were not great when they communicate. Who's teaching them that? It's a program, right? It's a mimic of us. You use cars. Cars are machine. It's technology, AI, what have you. You know, you look at Transformers. Wouldn't you shit one day if cars started transforming? They talk to you. These movies that are showing you things, it's showing you outcomes of ignorance. The material power is now around you. Either gain advantage or disadvantage. Everyone has to speak to it. Don't let your current position determine who you are. Remember to give back and find the point of prosperity. For true spiritual and material wealth is as much about giving as it is receiving. Seek proper investment advice and realize that you don't have to hold on to your possessions too tightly. Just be flexible and allow things to continue to flow. Feel that's me. There's an energy trying to grab at my guts. Y sotto prego di segreto. It's like the experience that I had the night of the supermoon when they were grabbing and twisting my insides. Yes, Satori, Specifically, that's good. Decide, diretto a parete non puoi su via. Anyway, it's like, hey, this is like Kimuta. È sukutu qui. Pikitotum. People would say, well, that's a lot. Okay, well, it is. Doing, guess what? Seriously. These are healing spirits.
Your life plan is unfolding as it should. Inner space and universal knowledge. To me, inner space is within you, and the universe is all of you, the inner and the expansion. Success isn't what you have, it's what you do with what you have. Okay? So success is like learning to read this, but learning to read yourself, learning to read energy, spirit, and teaching others how to do it for themselves. That's using what you have available to you, because there are readers on here that are making something. There's psychics and whatnot. It's using your gifts, your inner and external, your inner and your expansion. Ask your spirit guides, your ancestors, your inner essence, and you hear it. See, a lot of people would believe that I hear the voices of my mind, but it's not my mind. Sometimes it comes in at the mind and from out places. It's because of the mind shadow. But where I hear the actual voice is more in my head. And then it's like a magnifier. It's like heaven and earth. Inner earth. And you're perceived under. That's the Pandora's box, right? You don't need to see the under. That's the spirit. You don't want to see yourself because you're spirit. Universal love is true love, so love all. You have the ability to affect your own destiny. It's being able to navigate, use your own discernment, and make your own judgments. Because others' judgments can cause fear, and you want to try something because maybe it's their judgment because it's your own insecurity. And they figure because they can't do it or they didn't accomplish it that maybe you probably can't if they can. But it's not part of everything I can do, you can do. We just choose to restrict ourselves from even trying to do it. You are your purpose. That's why I use the thing with regards to the creativity, the painting, what have you. Okay? It's bringing it out, it's open. Whether it looks like to some, it looks like a disaster, and I'll ink it. I went into a museum on the waterfront in Halifax one day. It was is where they had the Alexander Keith's room. And in there, there's an artist. And he has a lot of different paintings, a lot of chaos. And when I went in there, I could feel the chaos. And I explained to him. And a lot of this stuff, I understood where it was coming from. There was one part that I was being guided down to, and it was a back room, and it was dark. It's because that was the feeling at the time that that art was created. You create out of love, you create out of anger, you create out of frustration. Why use it to hurt each other and use it to something that is more conducive? Some people say, well, that's not anything. Okay. And I myself wonder why, because it doesn't take much to make a ball. That's where things like that, it's putting the description of why you chose to have something be a ball. Do you feel confined? Do you feel like you're in a bubble? Does it represent, or is it just one of those things where, it's a simple thing to do and, people buy it? Because, a lot of people will buy something at least once before they realize that it's broken. I'm not saying broken or what have you, but I'm saying something that isn't put together well. And if it's not put together well, then it's seeing what is keeping that problem from working. Could be overthinking by one screw, by one equation. Happiness is freedom from fear. Fear of exposure. You said like a you know, nobody can tell you how to sleep. Nobody can tell you how to think. Nobody can tell you what to believe and what not to believe, what to feel or not to feel, what to experience or not to experience. There's days that I still ask myself, like, the fuck am I doing? Like, is this, I say, is it a bad dream that I need to wake up from? And sometimes it is.
Maybe I do. Maybe I have more than 100. Maybe I'm the head of Medusa that just keeps coming back until Medusa sees its own reflection. Or is Medusa Lilith? You called her a snake, and she's got a head full of snakes now. Medusa was, how do you know Medusa wasn't beautiful at you turned her ugly? It's like Ursula the Sea Witch with the tentacles. I have to ask now, why do they always depict the female gender as being ferocious and scary? They always made to look like these, you just silence and look up, like really scary. Hey, you piss a woman off and you swoon her and then see if she don't bring over set. A male even has the siren energy. Only they depict the male siren in most cases as being charismatic and hypnotic. That I see I'm not making fun of homosexual people or anything like that. It's that part of the siren wants to hypnotize you because, if I see a man doing that, I'm sorry, but, I understand you have women traits. It's like all twos right there when I said women traits. But it's like you're being you. And if any of you take that as an insult, maybe I'm sort of feeling like others were going to take it as an insult. Because, you did say, like you said about Donald Trump making fun of disabled people, but I was actually lost my place now because it's like that foot and mouth, but you don't have the foot in the mouth because you don't owe an explanation. But sometimes you feel it to be necessary because of how touchy any type of conversation is. Well, I don't know if I would want to tell anybody what I would want because, some people, when you want something, they try their hardest to keep you from getting it. It's like that movie, Wish. It's a kid's cartoon movie, Wish. And it has, the magician. Tell me your wishes. And then you have to go and align whether or not your wishes come true or not. But you gave your wish away instead of working on making your wish come true. But just remember, all wishes can come with specific ups or not so great. That's why they say, be careful what you wish for, because you're giving your wishes away. We wish upon a star. Okay? You're putting that out into the ether. It's like when you have your birthday party and they put the candles and they say, make a wish. And they say, you can't tell the person or that wish won't come true. Not all want to keep others from having their wish come true. But sometimes, if it's with the right people, then those people will help you have your wish and dreams come true, because they'll be on the same page with you. But the ones that don't want to see it, yeah, it's like when you do the genie. Okay, see, the genie can make your wish come true in whatever way it wants, right? You're just asking for a wish to come true. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they always look for the Achilles heel, right? The expression Achilles heel. Well, your wish is like an Achilles heel, because it's what your heart desires, it's what you want for yourself. So how do I? It's like somebody. It's like I was there and I waited too long, but I heard the return of someone. It's like, how do you, like, why are you waiting? Things were rocky when she left. Besito muere. It's like if somebody tries fucking with the mind of somebody else to think it's funny, don't do that. Okay, why did she leave? Okay, and okay, she got caught. Okay, I got the maid. Okay. Seriously? You'd really have your girlfriend or I'm going to say this out loud, your girlfriend or your wife's twin sister be your maid? Or gotcha. You couldn't blame her for leaving. It was her sister. Not throwing judgment, but okay, go away. Maybe she needs to slap you in your face now. I'm sorry, but it's that part of when a guy thinks it's cool to sleep with two sisters, even at the same time. I'm sorry, but I really have to question the two sisters. Yeah, I do hear. But, it's actually that's something all parties have to be secure in themselves about. And I'm not talking about two sisters. I'm talking about any third party sexual relationship. Each to their own. But there's problems that comes along with that, and there's other things that happen. Some things, something, you know, a mind blowing epiphany. But a lot of times, someone always gets hurt. Yeah, that's weird. Where it just went there. But it's true. I seen a friend go through it. She had girlfriends, and it just all went to shit. But like I said, each to their own. And with that being said, I'm sending you all much love, light, many blessings, most importantly, very good health to anyone and everyone wanting, willing to receive and accept. I want you all to be big, bold, brave, most importantly, be yourself. Be who you are, not who somebody says you are. See, it's being authentic, true to yourself. Hope you all had a great weekend. And see you in a new week. Galeto porque. Well, it is sort of, depending on what calendar you're looking at, whether Saturday is the end of the week, whether Sunday is the beginning of the week, or whether Monday is the beginning of the week, because you have calendars that say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, up until Saturday, and then you have some that say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday being the last day of the week. Great night.